For reaction and insight, it's a pleasure to welcome retired captain in the U.S. Navy, Gary Tabach, former commander at NATO Anti-Terrorism Center, joining us now from New York. Thank you so much for your time. It's not a relationship that Israel will be wanting to watch blossom, that between the United States and Turkey. What do you make of Donald Trump's pending move to allow Ankara to buy these sophisticated U.S. fighter jets?
Oh, thank you, Madam Levine, for inviting me. Well, that was decided by our Congress way before President Trump became a president, and then they bought the S-400s from the Russians, and they put the kibosh on it. But the thing is, it's a President Trump style to make friends out of enemies, like he did with Qatar and other Arab countries, the ones that Israel thought they would never have any kind of civilized relationship with. But again, look, if the Turkey does not buy F-35, Turkey has an option to buy Swedish Gripen, or Turkey has an option to buy French Mirage. If they buy our airplane, then, Israelis know better than anyone else that when you buy our weapons, you heavily depend on us. And the end user certificates depend on us. So if the Turkey gets F-35, they have to cooperate with us. And President Trump, I'm sure, told Erdogan that his family is Jewish and he likes Israel and things like that. And again, President Trump does not do anything without asking for something back. So it's always bargaining things. But again, you as Israelis, you tell me, what do you rather have? Us selling them F-35 or Swedes or the French?
Well, as you suggested, the fact that there could be something that he wants back in return could also be quite troubling. Over and above Israel's concerns about this emboldened Recep Tayyip Erdogan, there are also concerns in Washington that Russia could potentially steal information about these U.S.-made F-35s through people or equipment on Turkey's territory, as we heard in that report now. Is that not something that would give the president pause on such a move?
Well, I think there's a little bit of a paranoia there, Madam Levine, because why do you think that from Turkey, Russia can steal, but from Israel cannot steal? You have spies there too in Israel. They can steal it from us. And every time you have military equipment and you share it with anyone in the world, there is a possibility that the enemy can steal some of those things, including Chinese, probably of more concern than the Russians. But again, President Trump has not failed Israel for so many years, risking so much himself personally. And I remember that panic. Oh my God, President Trump is talking to Hamas and it's going to start World War III and our hostages are going to get killed. But when they got all released, and even the deceased ones, the ones that were killed, really none of those experts that were stirring that panic never apologized to him or never said, listen, maybe we're wrong. When President Trump moved our embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, the same thing. There's going to be Intifada, there's going to be World War III when he recognized Golan Heights and so on and so on. Every time there's such a concern, Why didn't any of these people had a concern with President Biden dropped all of our very expensive and modern equipment in Afghanistan and let Afghans have it, who dealt with the Chinese, and leave all of our allies there without even warning them? There were no such concern, no such outrage. I think it's more of a personal thing with President Trump, and it's not with the United States. So those concerns are not based on any facts. So far, facts show that President Trump has been very, very successful in supporting Israel like no other president in the world. My dear friend just called me and said he had a dream. He had a dream that all those prime ministers of Israel, Ben-Gurion, Sharon and Golda Meir, got together at the same table, and they were asking him, how's it going between Israel and the United States? And he says, great, because the capital is recognized as Israeli, Golan Heights recognized, the embassy is moved, there's peace breaking out, the Abrams Accord is signed. And they said, really? And who are the presidents that did all this? And he says, just one. And they didn't believe it. So how would you be so concerned that he's going to fail now?
Just to be clear, no one is disputing the incredible achievements Donald Trump has managed to do in terms of Israel. To be clear, the concern in terms of this particular story is that of Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who has made his views on Israel and the leadership in Israel abundantly clear. Retired captain in the US.
And historically, Turkey had much harder time with Russia than Israel had.
We're going to have to let this conversation continue at another time, but we appreciate your time, Gary Tabach. Thank you as always.
Thank you so much.